All right, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Today's topic is real estate marketing 101. So the cool thing about doing this class today is that we had Mike Dunn last Tuesday give a presentation on his farming and marketing strategies, what he does. And then we had Cecilia this past Tuesday talk about some of the marketing uh, pieces that she created to work with Canva that you guys can use. So this is going to work hand in hand with that.
Yay.
All right, so let's move forward here. So what are we going to cover? We're going to cover research. Research is going to be pricing for your marketing pieces, the different areas that you're looking through to select your farming area or your farming your farm itself, and then MLS. We're going to research a lot of information in the MLS to help you become an expert in that area, and we're going to talk about farming and budgeting for your farming. We're going to talk about print marketing, email or digital marketing. We're just going to touch on that. That's another class with Cecilia. It's social media marketing. We're going to touch on that, but just to show you there's other forms of marketing. But the budgeting part of it, that's important because I think when you're thinking about farming and marketing and what it takes, I think a lot of people overlook the budgeting portion of it. Because you get excited, you start thinking, okay, I want to market myself, I want to start farming a certain area, I want to farm to like 1,000 people, but then you don't think about the cost. So that's the first thing we're going to talk about. Figuring out how much you can spend per marketing piece or per month, just to get you going. And then the last one is paid leads. I'm just going to touch on it, let you know what's out there, and then you can decide whether you want to go that route. So confidence building. Most of you guys are new, and I think it's pretty stressful not knowing. You learn whatever you learn to take your state exam and get your real estate license, but I think you don't learn what you need to succeed in the business. And what I think that is real estate marketing. You have to learn how to market yourself to generate leads. Know the MLS and how to search the MLS and email and all that stuff to your clients, and then know the contracts, right? So go to zip forms, know how to fill them out, know what contracts you need, know how to interpret them to your clients. I think those are the main things that you need. So when you're new, I would focus on that. And being new, know that being part of Global Banker gives you instant credibility because we're probably the biggest real estate brand in the world. We have offices all around the world. We have the tools you need. So we have great tools and resources at your fingertips. My CD desk. Support, you have knowledgeable support to help you answer any question or concern. Don't be afraid to ask. You have me to ask questions to Richard. If I don't know the answer, Richard definitely has the answer. So I'm not going to give you an answer that's not correct if I don't know what it is. I'll go to him if I don't know what the answer is. So just know that you have great support here. There's always somebody here to answer your questions. And peers, you have approximately, actually we have about, I would say about 150 other realtors in the office, but some of them are referral only. Some of them have part-time jobs and not, really active. But there's other agents in the office here that are experienced, that have been doing this for a long time, that you can lean on, ask questions to, maybe take them out to lunch and pick their brain. And they're great here. They're happy to answer your questions. And I mean, as long as you don't park it right next to them and just ask them questions all day long, and I think that'd be a little annoying, right? Unless you're paying them. But become an expert. So know the market trends, know the contracts, and know the hot topics. Hot topics meaning like Prop 19 or just the changes in the laws for buyers, sellers, and everything for agents. All right, so the first thing is sphere of influence. Everybody has a cell phone, right? And does everybody have their contacts on their cell phone? Okay. You should begin your marketing efforts with everybody in your cell phone. That's pretty much your sphere of influence. Either send them a text, send them an email, give them a phone call. Everybody in your contacts list should know that you're in real estate. And it's not you bugging them, don't feel, because I know that a lot of agents, when not a lot. There's some agents that when they're new, they don't want to bombard people or feel pushy. And it's not that you're being pushy. It's you want to let them know, hey, just want to let you know I made a career change. I'm a realtor at Coldwell Banker Platinum Properties. If you have any real estate needs or know anyone that does, call me. Because you know what's going to happen is they're going to sell their house and you're going to run into them and they're going to say, oh yeah, I moved. And you're going to say, why didn't you call me? Oh my God, I forgot that you're a realtor. Or I didn't know you're in real estate. But even after you let them know, you have to remind them every once in a while. And we're gonna talk about that a little bit later. Well, I guess here. Let them know you're a realtor, that you join Coldwell Banker Platinum Properties. Reach out to them a few times a year. And whether it's a phone call or a text message, and it's not like you're being pushy and saying, calling it like, every month or every 2 or 3 months and saying, hey, do you want to sell your house? Hey, do you want to buy a house? Hey, do you want to invest? Hey, do you. It's just conversation. Hey, how are you doing? Haven't talked to you about how are the kids? How's the family? How's the dog? Oh, you talk about whatever, and maybe something comes up that person went to Newport Beach for this concert, whatever. Oh, that's actually right down the street from a property that I showed last week. I know where that is.
Yeah.
You just suddenly
Do it in
threw something in there without like being in their face about it. Or if they ask you, how's everything going? Oh, just doing open houses, going out there farming, trying to generate business for real estate. Because they're gonna ask you how you're doing. You can respond like that. You're not pushing it. So research. Any questions about sphere of influence? And with sphere of influence, you can include them into everything else that we're gonna talk about. So if you're gonna be sending out any marketing pieces, you can include them along with your farming list or, let's see, area. So research is a big one. We're gonna research pricing. You're gonna research pricing for printing. Let's say you're gonna print, right? You're gonna send out postcards or letters or flyers or whatever it is. You need to know how much they cost. If you're thinking, I want to send out postcards, 8.5 by 5.5, which is standard, you need to know how much they cost. So if I were to print 100, how much is it gonna cost? If I was to print 500, how much is that gonna cost me? If you're gonna do flyers, find out how much it costs for 100 flyers, 300 flyers, 500 flyers, because maybe you're gonna walk your farm, you're not gonna mail. So you can fit more information on a flyer, right? Two-sided flyer, it's 8.5 by 11. Door hangers is a good one, because with door hangers, it has the hook that you can leave on the door and not leave a mess all over the place, right? So like if you're walking the farm, you take a flyer, there's no one there to take the flyer, where are you gonna put it? What one of our agents here does, Holden, he staples a rubber band to the top left corner and puts it on the doorknob.
That works.
But it's pretty much a door hanger, right?
Yeah.
But it's a full
That
page, so
helps.
you get more information on it. So door hangers are pretty cool. Research mailing. So if you're going to mail, you need to find out how much it's gonna cost to mail, right? So when we figure out what your farm size is gonna be, then you can figure out, there's different forms of mailing or delivery of your flyer. There's EDDM, which is every door direct mail. And what that is the post office has a EDDM tool, business tool. And it's pretty much, when you go on their website, you click on that button that says business EDDM tool, and then there's carrier routes. So each mail carrier has carrier routes. There's like, let's say the zip code is divided into, every zip code is gonna be different. So let's say we're 92606. There might be 8 carrier routes in this zip code. And every carrier route has a specific number of people. It's gonna be different for every carrier route. So when you go into the EDDM tool, and let's say I wanna farm in a specific area, but this is the cheapest way to go, by the way, if you're gonna mail. You select that carrier route on the website, and it tells you how many homes that covers. Not only how many homes, but how many streets. So you can click on it and it highlights it. I'll show you guys a little bit later, towards the end. But let's say one carrier route will cover 3 blocks of the area that you want to cover. Then you have to click on the next one, which covers another 3 or 4 blocks, and it'll tell you how many homes that covers as well, and then so forth. But I'll show you guys. It's a little confusing. Just trying to think about it or visualize it. But anyway, that's one price.
I have a question, sorry. So when you're clicking that and you're doing like a couple streets, does it have a price at that point?
It'll tell you how much it costs.
For that
It'll cost to
block,
mail to
whatever.
them. Yeah,
Okay, so-
via EDDM.
Each time you start clicking, you'll see.
Yeah. And so what this does, it delivers to the person that lives in the home. It delivers to that home. Not necessarily the homeowner, because maybe it's a rental. So the homeowner's not gonna get that flyer, but the person that lives in the property is gonna get the flyer. And that's the difference between the next one, bulk mail. With bulk mail, you're gonna mail out to the owners. You're gonna get a farm list of the homeowner's mailing address. Let's say from the title company, they can provide that information. They'll send you a farm list, which is gonna have the subject property address that's within the farm, and then the owner's names, and then their mailing address. Sometimes the mailing address is gonna match the property address, the site address. That means they live in the home. If the mailing address is different from the site address, that means that it's a rental. They live somewhere else, they're renting the house out. But you're gonna be mailing to their mailing address. So you're pretty much ensured that the homeowner is gonna get your marketing piece, the person that makes the decision on whether they wanna buy or sell. And then that's also a discounted price compared to first-class mail. Now, first-class mail is pretty much a stamp. If you want to send out to 50 people, you're probably gonna do first-class mail and just put stamps on it. And that's what, 60-something cents now? God,
Yeah, I think
thank
so.
God, they keep going up.
Does that go to the owner as well, or to everybody?
This is gonna go to whoever you want it to go to, because you're gonna address it. And is there something else down there for the kids?
You're just gonna print labels?
And then, so pricing on social media, how much it's gonna cost you to run ads, target marketing, on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. And then paid leads, research pricing for paid leads. Zillow might have different pricing from Trulia, it might have different pricing from Realtor.com. But these are different places that you can get, leads from. So you can decide, do I wanna go the printing route? Do I wanna go social media route? Do I wanna go paid leads route? You have to do something to generate leads. People aren't just gonna walk up to you on the street and say, hey, are you a realtor? Sell me a house. So what is farming? So here's, in real estate marketing, farming refers to a strategic practice of focusing your marketing efforts on a specific geographic area or demographic group with the goal of building long-term brand recognition and becoming, pretty much, you guys know what farming is, right? It's pretty much marketing. Key aspects to real estate farming, geographical farming, what is that? It's targeting a specific neighborhood or zip code subdivision that you're gonna market to on a regular basis. Demographic or niche farming is targeting a specific type of client or property type, such as first-time home buyers, luxury homes, retirees, and investors. So the difference between geographic farming and demographic farming is demographic is maybe you're gonna. I'm not saying that you should do this because I don't think it's legal that you target a specific ethnicity group, but I know that there's some agents that do that. That like I'm a Korean agent, I want to target Korean homeowners because I can speak their language, they'll understand me, and they trust me. That would be demographic. Or another type is investors. I'm going to market to homeowners that just buy properties and rent them out, or owners of duplexes, fourplexes, things like that. That's demographic or niche marketing. And consistency is crucial. Successful farming requires regular repeated contact to build familiarity. So remember, be consistent. And the purpose is to generate listings, leads, and pretty much leads, right? Because it's going to be leads for listings or buyers or referrals. Any questions on this? We all know what farming is. Do you guys want me to do the farmer thing like Mike Dunn did? You know, farming is let's put a seed, and you guys all know where that stems from, right? From farming, you plant the seed, and hopefully, you know, the plant will grow, and the plant is your business and money because it's green.
Oh, you're planting the seed, huh?
Yeah, that's what it is. Your flyers are seeds.
Okay. I didn't know
So why use real estate farming in your business? It builds brand recognition. Not just they're not only going to recognize the Fuller Banker brand, but they're going to remember and know who you are. You're your brand, right? Increases trust and credibility. This person is still here. They've been marketing here. They know the area. They're providing great information, useful information for over so many years. So that's who I'm gonna contact to sell my house. Generates consistent leads and referrals. And any farming agent that's been doing this for a long time will tell you that it works. And they do get referrals from the homeowners there. It offers long-term return on investment. So you might not get instant gratification like a listing right away or a buyer right away. It takes time to build it. But if you continue to do it, it's gonna last forever. Again, farming agents that do this, they've been doing this for years. They're still doing it for a reason, because it works. So the goal is to become the go-to expert in the market, right? That's what farming is pretty much. Now budgeting. Planning your budget. So we're gonna do a few examples here. The first example is, so it's probably gonna be on the next slide, but decide how much money you wanna allocate towards marketing each month for at least 12 months. So let's budget for a year of marketing. Calculate printing and mailing costs if you're gonna mail it, or if you're gonna walk the farm, calculate the printing costs for that. Figure out the potential size of your farm based on your budget. When taking into account the cost of printing and mailing, and we'll see that in the next slide. And be consistent. Send something at least twice a month. If your budget doesn't allow it, then you can start by sending once a month, and try to build your business that way. But we recommend sending at least twice a month. Whether it's walking the farm once a month and mailing once a month, or walking the farm twice a month, or mailing something twice a month. Just do something twice a month. So here's example number one. If you're gonna walk your farm, let's say I'm not gonna pay any mailing costs. And so here, let me get rid of this thing because it's just not how to make this thing disappear. So let's say my budget is $6,000 for marketing for the year. That means if I divide that by 12 months, I have $500 a month to spend on marketing. And if I'm gonna send 2 marketing pieces a month, that means I have to split that $500 in half. So each marketing piece, I only have $250 for each marketing piece that I'm gonna send out for the month. So I'm gonna spend $250 for 1 marketing piece twice a month. So let's say the flyer cost me 50 cents per flyer. And you divide that by $250, that equals 500 flyers, 500 homes that you're gonna get. Does that make sense? So with the budget of $500 a month, divided by 2, which is 250, I can deliver 500 flyers. Well, not deliver because you still have to walk the farm. I can print 500 flyers twice a month. Right? So I'm gonna print 500 flyers of how the market's doing. And then the next flyer is gonna be just listed or just sold or whatever it is. So my farm size in this scenario would be 500 homes. So if I'm gonna walk this area, I gotta be able to walk 500 homes twice a month. And you don't have to walk every home in one day. You break it up, right? So Monday I'm gonna do 100 homes, Tuesday, whatever. Yeah, break it down to 100 homes per day. Any questions on this example? Anybody at home? Okay. Next example. So let's move on. So the second example is budgeting for EDDM, everyday direct marketing. Same scenario, 6,000 a year, 500 a month, $250 per marketing piece. So in this scenario, the postcard is going to cost me 40 cents to print. And then the delivery of it, the EDDM mailing portion of it is going to be 20 cents per postcard. And you got to estimate taxes, give and take. So this is not exact, right? You're going to end up coming up with your own formula, but let's just use this as an example. So 40 plus 20 is going to be 60 cents a piece to print and mail. Divided by the 250 by that, and then you come out with 417 postcards printed and mailed. So your farm size in this scenario is 417. So with $250, you can print and mail to 417 homes. Twice a month to equal $500. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
All right. And the next scenario is bulk mail. Same scenario, $6,000, $500 a month, $250 per marketing piece twice a month. In this example, the printing of the postcard is 40 cents. The bulk mail cost is gonna be 38 cents to mail, instead of 20 cents on the last example. And in this example, these are going directly to the homeowners. And so we do the math, and it gives us 321 postcards printed with that budget. So our farm size in this example would be 321 homes that we could mail to twice a month for $500 a month. Is it making sense now?
Mhm. Would
Okay,
you go online to do this, or can you go into a post office and talk to somebody and say, here's my postcards, or?
so we have a printing company, the printer that we work with,
Uh-huh.
you just send them the flyer and you send them the carrier routes and they do the rest.
Oh,
Or you send them the postcard and you send them for bulk mail, your farm list that you get from title, and then they do the rest.
oh.
Yeah, that's cool, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you were to do it for the EDDM, you'd have to get the printing done and then go to the USPS website, print out there's a cover page. And then there's an additional page for every stack of 100 flyers that you have to put on top of each stack.
Oh,
There's a whole process. You don't want to do that.
no, it sounds.
Just let the printing company do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So you guys are good with that, right? So you guys can calculate how much you have to spend and budget and everything for your farm, okay? Now, selecting a farm, now that you know how much money you have to spend each month, each marketing piece. Now that you know how many homes you can hit, now we can pick a farm. Because if you did this backwards, if you wanted to select a farm first, and then later on you find out, damn, I can't afford to mail to that many people, then you have to do it all over again. So by figuring out the budget first, now you know what your farm size is, and now when you're looking for a farm, you know, you're gonna find out that one farm area is maybe 800 homes, another one's 500 homes, and you're only able to mail to 370, so you have to narrow it down to a farm that has 370 homes, or remove some people from the list. So selecting the right area, find an area that has moderate competition. And I think we're gonna talk about this later on too, but if the farm area that you selected has maybe 20 sales in the last year, but one agent sold 18 of them, and then the other two were just random agents, that tells me that that agent dominates that neighborhood. I don't want to go into that neighborhood because they're established there, and they're probably trusted there, and that's probably the go-to person there. But if I find an area that I'm interested in that had 20 sales the last year, and from those 20 sales, there were probably like 10 different agents, 12 different agents that listed, I think that's good for the picking because there's no one there that's established, right? So the competition is pretty fair there. High turnover rate, you want to select an area that sells homes, where people are moving. You don't want to start farming an area that nobody wants to move out of, right? Because you have no customers, you have no sellers. And there are some areas like that, you're gonna run across them, maybe there's an area that you're in love with, and you're like, damn, I want to market this area, and then you do the research, and there was one sale, nobody wants to move. So pick out a few different areas. God damn, familiarity or personal connection to the area. So maybe it's your neighborhood where you live, or it's a neighborhood where your mom lives, or your cousin lives, that you're at all the time, and you know the neighborhood, you know the homes, you know the model, you know the neighbors. That's instant trust, right? Opportunity for growth. This is like, let's say I always recommend when you're new to start farming to an area of condos. Because there's opportunity for growth. Those people are gonna sell and probably gonna move up to something bigger. That's growth. And then maybe next, the area next to them, or the farm area next to that farm area, the single family detached homes. So you can grow into that other neighborhood, move people out of this neighborhood into that neighborhood, or vice versa. People are downsizing, empty nesters, and hey, we need a smaller home. Hey, guess what? I also farm in this area with smaller condos and. Anyway, so. Any questions on that one?
What would you consider a high turnover rate, like percentage wise?
I think like 5%
In the last year?
the last year, but you don't wanna just look at the last year, look at the last previous couple of years.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's see, selecting a farm, research. Researching farms, so things to consider when researching and selecting a farm, and it's things that we've already discussed. Do you live in the area or know any homeowners in the area? Research the number of homes, because this is gonna be important, right? How many homes are you budgeted to market to? Research, again, it's a big word here. Owner occupied versus absentees. You should know what your farm consists of. Out of the 500 homes in this area, how many of them are rentals? Know your audience, right? If like 80% of them are rentals, you're gonna be marketing to renters. Unless you're mailing, unless you do want that farm area, but you wanna mail to the investor owners. Now you're gonna have a different message to the investors versus homeowners. Right? Mr. and Mrs. Investor, are you interested in buying another property in this neighborhood for you to rent out? Mr. and Mrs. Investor, do you know that the market rents for this neighborhood are this much? Versus, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Homeowner, are you thinking about moving up to another house or downsizing? Or whatever it is, right? It's a different message. So know what your audience is and doing the research is gonna help with that. Research turnover ratio, right? The last couple of years, how many homes sold in this area in the last year? How many homes sold in this area in the previous year? And then from those, market share amongst other agents. From those 20 sales last year or 15 sales, how many agents were involved on the list side? Right? Is there a dominant agent? Title company is a great resource for identifying potential farm. They can provide turnover ratios. So if you reach out to your title rep, they can provide what they call a snapshot of the neighborhood. That'll show you the turnover ratios. They can provide you an Excel spreadsheet of the farm area. It's called a farm list. And this is gonna have, again, the property address for the property in that neighborhood, the owner's name, the owner's mailing address, for you to be able to mail to them if you want to mail to them. If you want printed labels to the farm, they can do that for you. If you want to do postcards and just slap the address labels on them, I don't know who does that anymore, but you can do that. The printing company will print them on there directly. Owner occupied versus absentees. So if you reach out to the title company and say, hey, this is my farm area that I'm going to start farming, can you tell me how many of them are owner occupied versus non-owner occupied? Again, you want to know how many renters there are in there, how many investors there are in there. And then specialty farm lookups, you could say, I only want to market to single family homes, detached, or I only want to market to condos, or I only want 2 to 4 unit properties for investors. You can have a farm, you can do a farm lookup by years of ownership. I only want to market to, in this neighborhood, to people that have owned for 15 years or more, or 20 years or more. So there's different ways of going about marketing, like who you're targeting, right? And again, this is gonna change what message you're sending, what your marketing is gonna look like. Any questions on this? Joe, I know you have a question. Come on.
I have a comment.
No, I'm good. This makes sense.
Okay,
I was just gonna say that, what if like a postcard goes to somebody that's a renter, doesn't own the place, but maybe they're looking to buy? You know, they're
Yeah.
tired of renting and they're like.
so what some people do is they do an EDDM where that covers everybody,
Everybody.
pretty much everybody, right? Depending on the carrier route. But then they also send they have a bulk mail list that they send to owners that don't live in the property. So it covers everybody, it covers everyone that lives in the homes, plus the owners that don't
Separate
live in
one,
the homes, yeah.
okay.
Or they'll send a separate flyer, message to them. But everybody gets covered, yeah. So maybe that's something another thing you can grow into, right? If you're doing the EDM just so that people live in the properties and you want to grow into also adding the homeowners of those rentals.
Actually, I do have a question.
I knew it. What's
Uh,
up?
so do we have to pay the title company some sort of fee to help us with that, or is that included?
They provide this complimentary service in hopes that you're going to use them in the future.
Cool. Okay, that's it.
Right, so I would schedule an appointment with your title rep, once you narrow it down to a few different farm areas, so they can give you a snapshot of the turnover ratios for each area and, you know, how many homes there are in the area and all that. And then once you come up with, decide which farm area you want to start hitting, then you're gonna do all sorts of other stuff, we'll talk about that a little bit later, but, so become an expert in your farm. Here's a good resource, insidetrack.com. This website, it's subscription based, you have to pay for it, but once you decide what area you want to farm or market, for like newer homes, not necessarily newer homes, but this website probably has a floor plan for most of the properties in Orange County. Some of the older areas, you're probably not gonna find the floor plans here, but why is this important? Because if you're gonna be an expert in the area, you should know the names of the models of the floor plans. You should know the layouts of the floor plans. You should know in your area that there's 2 different models of the 3-bedroom. There's one model of the 2-bedroom, and there's one model of the 1-bedroom. You should know this stuff. This helps make you an expert, right? Aside from knowing the market, knowing what the homes are selling for, knowing what they're on the market for, what's the average days on market, you also know the floor plans. Let's say somebody calls you on one of your marketing pieces and they say, hi, I'm thinking about selling my house. I have the, 3-bedroom and it's 2 stories. And you say, oh, that's the so-so model. Oh, is yours the one that has the master bedroom in the back left corner, or is the master bedroom whatever? And they'll be like, oh, no, it's the one in the back corner. Okay. Does that sound like I know what I'm talking about? Yeah, okay, yeah, I know what I'm talking about. Plus, I could say something like, yeah, there was one that just sold down the street for this much, and that one, it needed a lot of work and so forth, and so the models, now there's something that they can relate to that you're sharing with them. But anyway, you can get the tract map, the floor plans, and the floor plans will tell you how many beds, baths, and square footage, and also the number of units in the tract. But this is good, you can download the PDFs of everything for that, the whole package for that tract. And just keep it on your computer, print them out, do whatever, memorize them, but just know what the floor plans are. This is important. And you're gonna notice that some of the homeowners, a lot of the homeowners are gonna know the model names. They'll say, yeah, that's a Dartmouth, or that's a Harvard, or whatever, Columbia model. They know this stuff, so you should too. All right, so more research here. Know the market, know the trends, know the community. Research recent sales in the area and MLS. Maybe go back 1 year. And if you want to go a little bit further, research the past 5 years and just look at the trends. And when you're talking to someone, say, yeah, prices have been going up, or they dipped for a year and then they went back up, and just conversation starters, right? Research active listings, so what's on the market. But don't just research it, preview the listings. You're a realtor, you have access to the lockbox, you have access to the key. Go preview the property. You want to.
Just tell them you wanna go to the preview.
Yeah, I'd like to preview the property. Yeah. Just tell them it's a showing. They're not gonna know if you have a client or not, but still, you can go and preview the property ahead of your client. Let's say I wanted to look at it before I show it to my client to see if it's what they're looking for. But this also helps you for when, let's say someone else lists the property in that neighborhood. You take a look at it, you know everything about it because you've been in there, right? Like, oh, they have pictures look way better than it actually looks in person, right? The carpet's raggedy, the paint, somehow they Photoshop the picture so it doesn't really look like that. When you go on a listing presentation with another potential seller, and you can say, yeah, there's one that model match down the street that's on the market, but yours looks much better than that one because that one has this, whatever, and that's priced this way. So I think we can get more for yours, or vice versa. Maybe that one's immaculate and it's got everything upgraded. And then you're sitting with a homeowner who's original. And you could tell them, hey, they're asking that much because everything's brand new and upgraded and immaculate. And yours is original, so we have to be a little more realistic. We'll try to get you as much as we can, but you can't compare it to that, right? You don't wanna word it like that, but you just wanna just be real with them.
Be honest.
Research, track and floor plan models, like we mentioned in the previous slide here. Know the community. So community information, know the HOA amenities. In this tract, there's 3 community pools, there's 2 tennis courts, there's 2 playgrounds. Know the schools. Yeah, if you live in this area, your school is, your son's school is this middle school, this elementary school, this high school. Know the HOAs and HOA fees. It's important that you know that as well.
I have a question.
Yes,
So condos have HOAs, but like mobile homes have a land lease. Usually, I think that's where you pay like a monthly.
yeah, but
rent.
I think that includes that, I'm not sure about mobiles, but I'm sure that includes whatever their HOA amenities are.
Yeah,
The lease, the land lease includes
it
that.
includes like water and maybe
Yeah.
electricity or one of those, some of those. But it's just worded different, but it's almost like the same thing.
Yeah, but I mean, you're not gonna farm a mobile home community,
No, but I actually have somebody that wants to buy one.
but we're talking about farming.
No, I know.
So, yeah, so HOA fees, and there's gonna be areas that don't have HOAs. So it's good to know that, and there's gonna be, special assessments, there's gonna be areas that have special assessments, especially newer ones. So aside from the HOAs, there are additional taxes because it's a new area, they use that money to pay for schools, the local fire department, keep the streets up, things like that. So if there's any special assessments, know that as well. But any questions on this? All right, let's move on. Farming, content now. So now that we budgeted for our farm, we know how much we can spend, we know the size of our farm, we picked an area that we want to farm. And we know how we're gonna send it to them, right, via mail, or we're gonna walk the farm. What do I send? You can send out market updates, and the market updates will consist of recently sold. I would send out a market update every month, so one of the 2 marketing pieces that you send out should include a market update. And the market update includes the recent sales, so you would have to say that the recent sales are for the month of, like, we're in April now, I'm sending out a market update for the month of March. What sold in March? You cannot include active listings unless it's your own listing, or pending listings unless it's your own listing, unless, you give credit to the listing agent for those properties, for those listings. So, I mean, I don't wanna do that, I don't wanna promote someone else's name, right? If you're sending out, let's say, a flyer or postcard with 5 sales, and this is what they sold for, so many days on the market they were, this so many bedrooms and baths they had. And then I said, this is what's active, and there's 4 active, and it said listed by John Smith, listed by John Smith, listed by John Smith. People are gonna be like, hey, I'm gonna call John Smith because he's listing everything, right? I don't wanna do that, so unless it's my listing, I wouldn't post that, but if you did want to post the other properties that are active or pending, you have to say listed by John Smith, whatever, ABC Realty.
You can do that,
But you don't have to put their contact information, but you have to give them credit for it somewhere.
put their name and where they're from.
Yeah, the brokerage. So yeah, market updates, because this gives them an idea of how much their home's worth, right? They look at the prices changing like every month, right? Our prices going up, they're gonna see that because you're updating them every month. Are they going down?
You can't just put the address and what it sold for.
You can, but for sales, you don't have to put the listing agents.
Sold. The sold.
Yes. So the market update is, you're gonna put up sold listings on flyer.
Do you have to put the person's name?
No,
You can just put the address and what it sold for?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you have to include that disclosure, though.
there's a disclaimer at the bottom that you have to include. I'll show you guys that at the end. But yeah, if you're gonna send out a market update, just send out sold, closed listings or sold. You don't have to include the listing agent's name or brokerage. The only time you have to include that is if you're going to advertise active or pending listings.
Sure.
Yeah. You can send out a just listed, so when your postcards, you just listed, maybe you don't have a listing. Ask one of the agents are out in their office, hey, can I promote your listing to my neighborhood, to my farm area? They're not gonna say no. It's more exposure, right?
Yeah.
So ask someone in the office and then ask them to send you a picture, you can, just list it, 123 Main Street, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, 2,000 square feet, listed for $1,359,000, whatever it is. Contact me for details. You can advertise it just sold, same thing, ask one of our agents. You're not saying, I just sold,
Yeah.
Coldwell Banker just sold. Open house announcement, so if you're gonna be doing an open house, that's something you can send out. Newsletters. Newsletters have, just important information, right? Maybe it's information about how the market trends are going, maybe interest rates, maybe new laws, it's information. I have a buyer, maybe you have a buyer that's looking at a particular area, and this is good for like, let's say you have a buyer that's thinking of buying in Mission Viejo. My farm area is over here in Irvine somewhere. You can send out a flyer to that area in Mission Viejo that they're looking in. And say, hey, I have a buyer, they're looking for a single level home, and maybe only send us the single level homes. They're moving here because their kids wanted, they want their kids to attend this specific school. And they're ready to buy, they're pre-approved, contact me if you're interested. Sometimes homeowners don't want to go through the whole marketing process of it. They want to sell discreetly, and if you reach out to them with a buyer, they'll say, hey, let's see what they want to offer. Have them look at the property and so forth, and you might get an off-market sale.
So you do a farming, like weekend in that neighborhood? That's
Yeah.
not yours?
Yeah, you can do that. This would be good for those type of buyers, right?
You have a buyer.
But also there's some agents that send out marketing pieces to their own farm saying, I have a buyer, call me, they want to buy your house. And they don't. Maybe they have buyers, but not for that neighborhood.
Yeah.
So they're not lying that they have a buyer, but what happens is then the seller calls you, the homeowner calls you and says, hey, so you have a buyer, and you say, yeah, so where do you live? I live on 123 Main Street. How many bedrooms and baths? They're looking for a 2-bedroom, but since you called, that means you must want to sell, right? So this is a hook to get them to sell, or to list with you. So I'm not saying lie to people, but I'm saying that's some agents do
Don't
that.
do it.
You can do contests or drawings. So what you would do here is you send out a flyer for, let's say, what's coming up here for Easter. There's an Easter, let's do 4th of July. There's a 4th of July contest. And you're gonna give out a gift card to like a grocery store so that you can buy hamburgers and hot dogs and barbecue for 4th of July. Send me your information to enter my drawing. And guess what? This is your opportunity to get emails for the people that live in the neighborhood and their phone numbers. And also, on the next flyer, after you select a winner, you can advertise that on your flyer. Hey, congratulations to so-and-so for, people are gonna be like, oh, I know that person, that's my neighbor, they won, oh, that's cool, so this is real. People do win, it's not just like, you never know who wins, right? When you go to these, big like Spectrum or whatever it is, and they have those little boxes, win this car, you never know who wins, they never call you, but
Yeah.
they have your contact information. But at least here, the neighbors will know, oh, hey, I know Joe from down the street. Oh, they won, that's pretty cool. I'm gonna enter next time, maybe I can win.
Mhm.
And guess what? Now you have their phone number, you have their email address. So now you can start compiling an email list. So now you can send out another marketing piece via email. So you're not only gonna be in their mailbox or on their doorstep, you're also gonna be in their email. Yeah.
That's kind of a cool thing. Like that.
You can send out holiday greetings. For every holiday, you should include something. Happy Mother's Day, in May. Happy holidays or Merry Christmas in December. Happy Thanksgiving in November. So there's something almost every month. So you can include, that's something to fill your flyer with, right? But you're also wishing them a happy whatever it is. Self-promoting flyer. This is, you should do this at least once every, I don't know, 6 months. I don't know, maybe more. But on every flyer, you should include what you do, who you are and what you do. So your name, that's gonna be on all your flyers, but also I work with buyers, I work with sellers, I work with investors, I work with landlords, I work with tenants. Let them know that you work with everybody. It's not just, the example that I like to give is there was an agent that was here years ago that he dominated his farm area, and he had one of his buddies, close friends that lived in his farm area. It was around the time when short sales were a big thing. He advertised, thinking of buying, I can help you buy, thinking of selling, I can help you sell. I work with landlords and tenants. Maybe he had those things. But he found out that one of his best friends that lives in his neighborhood, his farm area, put his house on the market with another agent. And he was devastated. He said, hey man, why didn't you call me? I would have even discounted my commission because you're my friend. Oh, because I needed an agent that worked on short sales, and your flyers say you don't work on short sales, so I didn't want to bother you with it. He's like, I do work with short sales. He's like, I just didn't think you did because it wasn't on your flyers. So put everything that you do on your flyers. I work with buyers, I work with sellers, I work with investors, I work with landlords and tenants. Call me if you're thinking of buying, renting, selling, investing, right? So that there's no question that you can help them with that. Yeah, because you don't want to just be like, oh, I'm just a listing agent. No, you want to buy a house? Yeah, I'll help you buy a house. Community information. So you can send out a flyer that has like, I don't know, maybe the HOA information, or we're going to talk about another thing here. With this kind of goes hand in hand with directory, which is going to be on this list. You can do a directory or community information that has the phone numbers to the local schools, to the local police department, fire department, poison control, local hospitals, and then include your neighborhood realtor, your contact information there, right? And guess what? They're gonna keep that list because it's got poison control, it's got the police department, fire department, like
The vet.
the local hospitals, the
Emergency
vet, yeah. They're gonna keep this, they're gonna put it on the fridge, or they're gonna, trust me, this is something they're gonna
It
keep.
would be like a magnet or something.
Yeah, you can do that. So it's gonna be community information and also directory, so you're gonna see directory on here somewhere.
Make sure the numbers are right.
Yeah. Hey, but you know what? When the numbers change, you can send one out every year to replace the previous one. Right? Offer something of value. So maybe on one of your marketing pieces, you say, hey, thinking about how, wondering how much your home is worth, I can provide a free, no obligation CMA market evaluation of your property. And or find out how much you'd make if you were to sell your house right now, how much you would net. So this is something you're offering value for free. You can offer a class. The example I give is there are still a lot of people that don't have their homes in a trust, and they should put it in a trust because if something were to happen to them, if they had a will, they'd still have to go through probate. But if there's a trust, then there's trustees and let's see. It just makes it easier to transfer property. Yeah, it makes it easier to transfer. Sorry about that, guys. So what you could do then is you can have a trust attorney do a class, reach out to a trust attorney, invite people within the community to attend that class. What's a trust? What are the benefits of putting your property in a trust? And they'll register, they'll email you an RSVP, they'll show up, and guess what? You provided something of value to them. Here's this attorney that's gonna explain to you the benefits of putting your property in a trust for free. And if you wanna work with them, he's here. You guys start working together and you pay him directly, but then the real estate attorney, the trust attorney, you're doing them a favor by bringing people to him to explain what a trust is and hey, potential business. And now everybody loves you, right? You did this for them. So that's an example of a class you can offer. And it doesn't cost you anything. Aside from your marketing. You can do a community garage sale and promote this on your flyers. We have an agent here that does a garage sale twice a year for 3 different farm areas. He organizes the garage sale. So he advertises the garage sale. I don't know, bunch of places. He gets different people that are gonna participate within his community. And then he even does a map from the floor plans, from inside track of the area. And then puts dots where the garage sales, who's having a garage sale. And then he puts, I think, a sign with the map, garage sale map for visitors. So when they stop by, they grab a map and they can drive around to everybody that's participating, which is pretty cool, yeah. Personal greeting cards, if you meet somebody, when you're farming, I would definitely send them a handwritten greeting card. Hey, it was nice to meet you. Your dog was adorable, or hey, good luck with the pregnancy or whatever it is. Something personal they told you when you talk to them, write it in the card. They're gonna appreciate that because nobody sends handwritten cards anymore, right? And the fact that you wrote something nice and you remembered that fact that they told you, they're gonna remember that. And who doesn't like getting greeting cards in the mail? Hey, happy birthday, hey, happy anniversary, or hey, that's pretty cool, they were thinking about me. Sports schedules, this is a good one. Because most people like sports, so you have the Angels and the Dodgers, you can send out schedules for each, or just the Angels. And they're gonna keep it for however long that season is, I don't know, what is it, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, it's almost like the whole year for baseball. They're gonna keep that schedule, and guess what, it's got your contact information at the bottom or at the top, wherever you place it. But they're gonna keep that. Football schedule, football's like what, 3 or 4 months? Hockey season, basketball season, people keep these. Usually other pieces that they receive in the mail, they kind of glance at it and throw in the trash. Or they read the whatever market update, oh, they sold, okay, cool, and then they go in the trash, but those they'll keep. Another thing you can send out twice a year is daylight savings for a reminder, hey, this is a reminder to change your clocks. But we're talking about content, what should I send, what message? Along with your real estate information, right? Letter to investor owners. This is something if you're gonna work with investors. So I used to work with investors, 2 to 4 unit properties. And I would send out postcards to them. And remember, when you're working with investors, they don't. Let's say you're farming a particular area. There's no area, there's not really an area, like I would farm to, market to the city of Orange, owners of 2 to 4 units in the city of Orange. And they live everywhere. There's some that live in LA County, some that live in Orange County, some that live out of state. So you can't walk the farm. You have to mail to them. You can't do EDDM because it's not a carrier route. You have to do bulk mail or first class mail. So when I would send a postcard, I would do bulk mail because, you get the cheaper rates. But there's times where I would send letters to them and you'd have to put a stamp on the envelope. So with investors, what I notice is that you get, I think, more calls from letters because they open the letter, they open the envelope, they take out the letter and they read it. Versus you get a postcard, kind of flip it and you throw it in the trash.
Yeah, it's a letter and it's got
You-
a
yeah.
stamp on it
Yeah.
and.
So just a tip, if you're gonna work with investors, send letters to them. Cause they have to open them and look at them and it's about their property and maybe it's something that, and I've gotten calls from letters.
It's more personalized.
Create a calendar. So if you know that you're gonna send out 2 marketing pieces a month, put it on your calendar so you know that you have to do it. So like on the 1st, I'm gonna do my market update, send it to the printer, and then it's gonna take them however long to mail and deliver it. I know on the 15th, I'm gonna design my flyer, my newsletter, whatever it is, and send it to the printer and have it sent out again, or I'm gonna walk the area. But make sure that it's in your calendar so you don't forget to do it. And then the other things are like social media. If you're gonna post any social medias, you can schedule social media posts for 1 month in the future. So you can set that up as well. Here's examples of some of the flyers just listed, just sold. One's a postcard, one's a full page flyer. The one on the left was mailed, the one on the right is walked. And that's the ones that hold it staples, the rubber band to the left corner, top left corner. 2-sided, they're both 2-sided. These are just examples, just to give you an idea of what people are doing. Market update, this is a market update that Shweta does. She sends out a market update. Sometimes she'll put all the sales for the previous month on one side and then all the properties that leased and what they leased for on the backside. Or sometimes she'll put her listings on there on one side and then do the market update on the other side. Or she'll have an event like, oh, I'm having a coffee bar at this place, at this park. You guys can meet me here and let's chat about real estate. So that's another thing, have little events, right? Host little events in the community. Here's one of Holden's market updates that he does. He features his properties that are for sale or have sold, but then in the middle of the flyer here, you're gonna notice that there's a market update. This was for the month of March, 2022. You can do reminders, fall back again, change your clocks. This is an old flyer that we had with the old logo and all that, but, and by the way, remember to change the batteries in your smoke alarms here on the bottom half of the flyer. Newsletter. Important information, right? The importance of a home inspection. And there's a bunch of different topics that you can send out information about. And this is one of them, like, what's a home inspection? What does a home inspector do? What's an appraisal? Why is it important to have an appraisal of the property? Maybe explain to them what contingencies are. These are things that people don't know about, right? That you guys are learning. You guys didn't know. So a lot of homeowners don't know this stuff. Maybe when they bought their house, their realtor mentioned it to them, but it's not something they're gonna have top of mind. But termite inspections, or what's a home warranty, what's the importance of a title insurance policy, or the benefits of putting your property in a trust. There's a lot of content that you can send out that it's real estate related.
To generate some leads.
Yeah, but it's real estate. So there's a lot of agents that are sending out cookie recipes or gardening tips.
I like those.
Which- Yeah, but is it gonna make you call her to sell your house? Or is it gonna make you call her, hey, you didn't send out a cooking tip this month, send it to me, right? So if you wanna do that, if you're gonna send out a newsletter, maybe you could designate like the bottom right corner to the, recipe of the month or something. But make sure that you include real estate, the majority of it is real estate related. So if you're gonna have maybe this article here, and then the bottom corner, you could say, recipe of the month, and on the backside, maybe some property pictures or something of listings. But just have the majority of it be real estate related. Other informational flyer, new laws. Local directory, like we talked about before. Floor plan information. Services you provide, mortgage rates, or the history of mortgage rates. Vesting descriptions, this is something that I got from title. How to invest in your property, right? Like, what's the difference between community property and joint tenancy and tenants in common? I mean, this is pretty cool. I don't know if they're gonna keep it, but it's information. Contest and garage sales, this is an example of the garage sale flyer Holden sends out. Nobody actually writes their name and mails this back in. Now they just email him or, text them that they want to enter the drawing. But once in a while, you get like an older homeowner that'll fill it in, cut it out, put it in the mail, or drop it off here at the office for them.
That's cute.
They need to get out, right?
Give them something there.
And here's an example of one of his Valentine's Day flyers that he did before, contest. And this is for a Valentine's Day gift basket. Create your brand, your own brand. You already have a big brand in Coldwell Maker. Now you have to create your own identity, your brand, right? Who you are and what you do. You can use specific colors, and so like, example, what you're doing, you have orange and blue. Because the community that you're farming is orange and blue. And every time they see that orange and blue flyer on their doorstep, they know it's yours, or in the mailbox, they're gonna know, oh, that's Zach's flyer. Right, so make it memorable, right? The example I was given before was like, something people remember is a pink flyer. Who who makes pink flyers, right? But people are gonna remember, oh, that's Sonia's flyer. Oh, that pink flyer, oh, I already know that's Sonia's flyer. An agent logo, this is the logo that Mike Dine uses. A tagline, I sell dreams, right? That's a tagline that I know, an agent I knew years ago that they used to use. We had Sylvia Jonathan, she's still with us, she uses, I'm the real estate matchmaker. That's her tagline, she puts that on all her flyers. You can have a specific flyer template that we talked about with the specific colors, and specific look. When you start changing the look too much of the flyer, the layout of it, it doesn't show consistency. It doesn't show stability. So make sure that once you have a certain look, you just continue with that look. Stay consistent with the look and the colors. Niche markets. Niche markets, we talked about that before, but you're gonna market to investors, maybe military. So this is something else that you guys should think about too, is marketing to like teachers or doctors, and like there's niche groups of people that they refer, vendors or realtors or whatever with each other. Oh, you should use my realtor. They did a great job, and they're really close. Like nurses, they're really close and they refer business to each other. Teachers, doctors, military, and then there's certain programs out, loan programs for teachers and for military. So you can, be versed in that, but also connect yourself with a loan officer that works with vets, right? Or with a loan officer that has programs or knows of programs or specializes in programs for teachers or firefighters or police officers. Those are other niche markets if you want to do something like that. That's another way of marketing, right? Farming to a specific niche group. A personality. So create within your brand, your personality. I'm an investment agent. I only work with investors, right? Or mainly work with investors. I'm a luxury agent. I work with high-end properties in the coastal cities. Or I'm the agent who's involved in good causes. We had I'll talk about this a little bit later here, but an agent that used to do blood drives. And he would host 2 blood drives a year, and then they went to 1 blood drive a year because it was a lot of work. And I mean, that's a good cause, right? Red Cross, blood drive. Community involvement. This is another big one. If you want to farm a particular area, get involved in the community. Sponsor a community event, a school event, or a fundraiser. You gotta go?
Yeah,
Okay.
sorry.
Advertise in local high school sports programs or yearbook. So once you start advertising, sending out marketing pieces to your farm area, you're probably gonna get calls from the local schools because either the parents are gonna tell us, hey, you should reach out to this realtor. Or you can reach out to the school yourself and find out if there's any opportunities for you to advertise in their programs, or sometimes they'll allow you to put a giant banner out in their baseball field with your contact information and picture. It'll cost you like $500 for the year or $1,000 for not the year, but for the baseball season or whatever it is. We've had some agents that have done that. Coordinated community garage sale, we talked about that. Post real estate related classes, seminars, we talked about that. Talked about the blood drive. Holidays, I don't see people doing this anymore, but I mean, I've been in this industry since I was 20 years old. So that's got 29 years. So I've seen a lot of things, a lot of realtors market themselves differently and do community involvement differently. And one of the things that I've seen, that I saw before that I don't see as much anymore, I haven't seen in a while, is this. So around Easter time, in your farm area, there's gotta be a park. Hire an Easter bunny to come and you can do an Easter egg hunt. You pay for the eggs, maybe some candies to put in the eggs. You put them all over the grass and advertise it, right, prior to that date. Have the Easter bunny there for the local community to bring their kids, take pictures with the Easter bunny, do the Easter egg hunt. It's fun. The homeowners love this. I mean, they would be like, thank you so much for doing this. This is so great. They usually have either Easter egg hunts in their own house if they do that, but this is cool because it's the community. They're all coming out to do. Meet Santa Claus, or around Christmas time, have a Santa Claus You know, set up a chair, have Santa Claus take pictures with the kids, either sitting on their lap or next to them, whatever. It's too creepy, I don't know. And then have them give out a candy cane. And guess what? You did this for them. I don't have to take my kid to the mall anymore because he's right here to take pictures with Santa. So this is a pretty cool community thing, I think that many people don't do anymore. 3 C's in real estate marketing. These are my 3 C's. Is content. Is the first C. Inform them, educate them, and update them. Call to action is the second C. Give them a reason to call. Contact me for a free CMA. Contact me for a copy of your grant deed. Contact me for a personalized market update. The call to action is the contact me, call me, email me for this service, for this product, whatever it is. That's the call to action. You want to have at least two call to actions on your flyer, at least 2. Consistency, that's the third C. So we have content, call to action, consistency. Consistency is stay in their face with print marketing, email marketing, social media marketing, community involvement. You do all this stuff, they're gonna know who you are. So email marketing, we're just not gonna go too much into it, but let's see what we have for email marketing. We have Moxie Engage, Moxie Impress, Prospect Square. Those are all color maker tools that you can use within MyCD Desk. And then if you don't want to use those tools, you have MailChimp, which is free, Constant Contact is free. And those are free up to a certain amount of contacts. But these are email marketing tools that you can use to send out your real estate message, whatever you're gonna send out your marketing. You can send out a monthly newsletter in addition to your print marketing that you're sending out, delivering or having it mailed. Just listen, just sold, open house announcements, pretty much the same thing. E-card for birthday, holiday, special occasions. So if you want to send out birthday emails to people, you know, you can do that. What's happening this month? So there's listing events that are going on in Orange County or in specific cities. Interest rate or market updates. Maybe partner up with a loan officer. Seasonal safety tips. It's pretty good. Drip campaigns. How many of you guys know what drip campaigns are? I'll take it out. At least one of you out there knows what it is, but you're muted, so, okay. So it's pretty much email campaign that you just set it and forget it. And Prospect Square has drip campaigns, and a drip campaign is pretty much, it's a marketing campaign that's comprised of a series of emails. In this example, let's say there's 10 emails. The first one's scheduled to go out today. The second one's scheduled to go out in 5 days. Third one's scheduled to go out 5 days after that, and so forth. And it's automatically scheduled to go out. So you set it up, you set your clients up with that specific email campaign or drip campaign, and you just leave it. The system automatically emails them on that specific day. So they're going to be getting your emails, whether you remember or not. There's a seasonal campaign that has holidays. And it's like Merry Christmas, Happy 4th of July, Happy Thanksgiving. It's got all the holidays, right? And there's more holidays than you can even think of. So you can go through and eliminate the ones that you don't want sent out. But I remember getting emails saying, hey, Happy 4th of July to you too. It's been a while. And I'm like, what? What do you mean? Like, to me too. What? I didn't even email them. But then I remembered, oh, the drip campaign. They're just replying to that. So if you set it up, just keep in mind that you might get emails from people, like replies from people. It replies to those emails, and you're gonna be like, what? Why? I didn't email them. Why are they emailing me? So maybe it was just me. I don't know. But so there's different campaigns. There's the home security tips. There's energy saving tips campaign. There's a seller campaign. There's a buyer campaign. So each one of these has a series of emails that are gonna be sent out. So you can assign your contacts to one of these or a couple of these campaigns. Is everybody clear as to what the drip campaigns are? If not, now's your chance.
I mean, you have to come up with a new email or whatever.
No,
Whatever's
these
in the app.
campaigns are already set up for you.
Oh, it's already, oh, okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
they're there. You just have to
so
assign.
like generic. Mostly.
Yeah, you just assign your contacts to the campaign and hit start.
Okay, so it has like multiple different things like that send it out.
Yeah. And then Moxie Engage also has buyer campaigns, seller campaigns. Let's see. Social media. We're just gonna touch on this really quick, but social media and website. So you get a free website with Coldwell Banker. It's a really cool website. Unless you want to pay $20 to $50 a month for like a custom website, you can do that, but I don't know why you want to do that. Ours is pretty cool and it's free. Make sure you add content to your bio, your profile page. Because if a buyer goes through and they want to go through and find out which agent they want to work with, and you don't have a bio or a profile set up, they don't know anything about you, so why would they want to work with you? Have a personalized domain name. I think when we first set you guys up with the onboarding process, we go through all this. It's important that you have a personalized domain name, whether it's your name or whether it's something easy to remember, because the default domain name with your website is like Carlos Rodriguez .moxiesites.something.com. That's not easy to remember if someone were to go to my website, but they do remember sellnoc.com. That's my personalized domain name. Use an updated or recent photo on all digital platforms. So that's your website, that's your company bio page, that's your social, everything on social media, everywhere. Realtor.com, Zillow, anywhere that you have a profile, make sure you upload an updated photo, because realtors are notorious for having, it's not a thing anymore, but they had glamour shots back then. And they were kind of like blurry, and then like made you like, they blurred your face so there was no wrinkles and there was no blemishes, and they just looked fabulous, right? Like your hair is all like, anyways, and it was mostly the women that were guilty of this, but, and then they'd show up to the listing appointment, and then the homeowner would be like, wait, that's not the person that was on the picture. You look like 20 years older. So make sure that you look like what your photo looks like, or your photo looks like what you look like, so they're not surprised when you show up at their door for the appointment. All right, so a video profile adds another dimension to your website. So you have the ability to add a video to your website, and just an introduction would be good. Let people see your personality and let them know how you speak, because that can make a difference between someone calling you and not calling you. And the example I give is that our old sales manager, Ted, he's an ex-police officer, so retired police officer, so he's very stern and like, he looks professional, but he just looks like a stern guy, and like he has this stone face. And I always say, like, God, if I landed on his pitch, I think this guy's an asshole. Like he looks like he'd be like that, but then you click play on the video. He says, "Hi, I'm Ted Petropoulos. I've been in real estate for this many years. If you're thinking about buying or selling, give me a call. I've been, well, whatever." Like, watching the video, I'm like, that totally changed my mind about this guy, right? So sometimes a video will help. I mean, maybe it won't at times, but I don't see how it would be bad. So introduce yourself. It doesn't have to be a 5-minute video. It's just, "Hi, I'm Carlos Rodriguez. I work at Coldwell Banker Platinum Properties. I've been in real estate for this many years. I help buyers and sellers with all their real estate needs. If you're looking for a realtor in this area, in Orange County area, give me a call." That's it. It could be shorter than that, but it's important to add video because that also helps the SEO, the search engine optimization, when someone's looking for a realtor in Irvine or whatever it is in Orange County. Use Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, Twitter to broadcast all your new listings, just sold, maybe awards, tips, any type of marketing that you want to do. So social media, these are the platforms that realtors are using right now. Moxie creates a property website for each one of your listings. So when you have a new listing, Moxie Impress creates a website for that listing, and it showcases all the pictures, the description, it's got your contact information. It looks like you created a website for that listing itself. What you can do is once you open up that website for that listing, copy the URL and then paste it into your social media to promote the property. So what's gonna happen, it's gonna show up on your Facebook, it's gonna show up on your LinkedIn, it's gonna show up on, I'm not sure how you would do that on TikTok. Or Instagram. But you can ask Cecilia and she can help you with it, and her number is gonna be here at the bottom, but yeah, all you have to do is just paste it, and then when your friends or whoever's following you sees that, and you type a little message on there, they click on it, go directly to the website. And you can contact our social media specialist for help. There's her name and phone number. And she can go over all the social media stuff that you have questions on. She'll help you set up all your accounts, your social media accounts, have them all linked together, and it just pretty much everything. So, you guys got the number? Alright,
So you don't have to buy a domain name for the website, the Foxy website?
you don't, but you can. So the listing I have now, I bought the property address for it, so it's 4664candleberry.com. So it's easy, if someone looks it up, they're gonna find it right away. And I think it'll probably be at the top of the search.
We would have to pay for that part of it.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, but you don't, I mean, you just pay for
Yeah.
a year at a time.
Yeah.
For social media, so when you're on social media, you wanna promote the town, not just the house. Because you have to remember that on social media, you have people they're looking from everywhere, right? From maybe other cities, other states, maybe another country. So aside from, hey, look at this wonderful house, look at these pictures. Hey, this is a great town, there's a school just 2 blocks away, we're 4 miles from the beach, whatever it is. So promote the town, not just the house on social media. Be yourself. If you're gonna post any videos, be yourself, don't pretend to be someone you're not. Educate your buyers. Respond to comments, good and bad. So if someone leaves a bad comment on any of your posts, you know, if it's a bad comment, hey, I'm sorry that you feel that way. Is there something that, you know, you'd like me to clarify, whatever it is? Don't go back and forth and argue with them. It just makes it look bad. Don't forget video, add video. Never assume that you're only connecting with first-time buyers, so don't just only promote or advertise to, hey, are you a first-time buyer? There's some people that kind of fall into that trap. Or they fall into the opposite, where they think they're talking to people that are experts at buying homes and they know what the terminology is. Don't assume that everybody knows what the terminology is. Sometimes you have to go back and, you know, maybe create a video or put some content out that educates them or explains to them what something means or what the process is. Don't ignore your existing clients. So if you can, make sure that you friend your clients or follow them or have them, you know, ask them to follow you, invite them to follow you and interact with them, like their posts. Because when you like their posts, most people, I find this very interesting, that everybody wants to be liked. When you post something, people are like, oh, you didn't like my post. Sorry, I didn't see it. Well, log on and like my post, okay? Anyways, people notice who's liking their posts and who's not, or who's commenting. So just make someone feel good when your clients feel good and like their posts. It'll remind them you're there. Again, for more information on this, these are just like little quick tips. Contact Cecilia, she can help you with all this. And now, generating leads. Here's additional ways of generating leads. So Cloud CMA has a home price evaluator landing page. And this is something you can use on social media, like you can use it on Facebook, where Cloud CMA will create a landing page for you, which is just your contact information, your picture, and then it'll say, would you like to know how much your home is worth? Enter the address here. And then the person would then enter the address and hit submit. And then it'll say, oh, we're creating your CMA. Just wait a few minutes. And then I think it asks you for your email address too. So then it says, okay, we just emailed it to you. And you didn't do anything as the agent. But guess what? You're gonna get an email saying, hey, we just sent a CMA on your behalf to this person at this address, and here's their email. And now you know that someone might be interested in selling their house, right? But the CMA that went out to this person is just a quick and dirty CMA is what they call it. They just grab rent, properties in the neighborhood, right? But they're not apples to apples. They just grab whatever and the system doesn't know how to match the homes exactly, right? Like an agent would. So your opportunity is to reach out to this, create a CMA, first of all, then reach out to this person, whether it's email or maybe try to get their phone number and say, hey, thank you for reaching out for evaluation of your home. The system sent you a quick and dirty CMA, but I went in and did a more detailed CMA for you, or made a more detailed CMA for you. I'd like to share it with you. When can we meet? Right, so it's an opportunity to meet with them. But this is what the page looks like. Oh, I should just show this to you. Yeah, so it's got your contact information, what's my home worth, and then that's where you type in the property address.
Yeah, I was using this and in my farm area, there's a lot of condos
Mhm.
and there's homes. And so when I was trying to play around with it, it would bring down the value a lot because it'd pull in a lot of the condos for the homes.
Yeah.
Trying to look for the homes, so
Did anyone request a CMA?
I haven't sent that out yet.
Okay.
Yeah, but it is interesting, but it kind of skews the results a little bit. because
Yeah.
it-
But that's why it's important that you create a personalized one and reach out to them.
Yeah.
So what you can also do with this is you could purchase a custom domain name just for this. Like what's your farm area called?
It's like Bennett Ranch.
So you could
website
do-
area.
You could do betterranchhomevalues.com. And then you could redirect it to this landing page. So on your marketing pieces, you could say, hey, wondering how much your home is worth, go to Bennett Ranch Homes, homevalues.com to find out. And it'll take them straight to this. And they can enter their address and so forth, and there you go, that's another marketing piece that you can send out. But you can also use this for social media. This is pretty cool. And if you guys wanna know how to find this, it's on, just reach out to me, I'll tell you how to do it. Or maybe I'll show you at the end of this. Corfact is another cool website. This is a paid service, Corfact. And with Corfact, they have a bunch of different marketing tools that you can use, or marketing pieces. Postcards, newsletters, flyers, door hangers. So they have all these templates set up that you just upload your picture, your contact information, and it personalizes them for you. And they will also print them for you. The postcard that I like the most here is the home valuation postcard, and I'll show you guys at the end of this, where you're gonna upload your list, your farm list of homeowners, and then select the postcard that you want to send out. And it creates a custom QR code for each property address. So that when you pay this company to print and mail your marketing piece, the consumer or the homeowner can then scan their QR code to find out how much their home is worth. And it knows, hey, you're John Smith from 123 Main Street. Thank you for scanning this QR code. Here's what your home is worth. And everyone gets their own custom QR code. But not only that, on the postcard, it shows a map of the neighborhood and it pinpoints their property on the map. And everybody gets their own custom map with their property pinpointed on the map, which I think is, I don't know, I think it's pretty cool. But anyway, then as a realtor, you have the ability to log into your account on corfact.com anytime somebody has requested information. And you can see who scanned the QR code, what time they scanned the QR code, how many times they scanned the QR code to find out the value. And then you can reach out to them. Say, hey, I noticed that, are you thinking about selling? I noticed that you're reaching out for a home valuation. But this is really cool. I'll show you guys a little bit later. Hopefully we have enough time. Oh, damn, we're going past everything here. All right, so paid leads. If you don't want to do any print marketing or any social media marketing or any of that, or maybe you want to do a combination of a few things, you can spend your marketing dollars on paid leads where buyers are going to come directly to you. These companies are going to send the leads to you. No, not yet. Where you're going to send the leads, they're going to send the leads to you. So you can go to Zillow, to get paid leads, Trulia, Realtor.com. I don't know what they charge, but I know they're pretty expensive. And they sell the leads by zip code. So if I wanted 92606, they probably don't have anything available for sale for 92606. So you have to wait until there's an opening. And they might have 10 different agents that bought the whole market share. They might have 20 different agents that bought the market share and split it between everybody. You might have one person that bought 50% of the market share, and then the rest split up the rest of it. It's strange how they work it out, because now they have like 200% market share, which I don't know how that works. There's only 100% market share, but anyway, if you want to spend your money that way to get leads calling you directly, or them sending you leads to contact, you can go this route. Common mistakes to avoid: choosing a farm that's too large. You don't want a farm that exceeds what you're going to be able to afford, right? Inconsistent marketing. If you're gonna send out two pieces a month, keep doing it. Don't stop. Even if you're not getting calls right away, you might not get calls right away. So be consistent, because the homeowners, they see people come and go. After 2 or 3 months, they see someone saying, oh, we have a new person marketing in here. Oh, 2 months, they're gone. Oh, I don't see their marketing pieces anymore. So stay consistent. Lack of follow-up. If somebody calls you, reach out to them. If you sell somebody's house, keep in contact with them. Not tracking return on investment or adjusting. This is important because you want to make sure that you're not wasting your money. Your return on investment is how many leads have you gotten from your print marketing, from your social media marketing, from your paid leads. You want to make sure that you're getting something in return. And I know for print marketing, it's gonna take a little bit longer. You have to be patient, but again, you're gonna be the go-to person for that neighborhood if you're just consistent with it. Final thoughts: real estate farming is a long-term strategy, right? Because you're farming, you're planting, you're waiting for your plants or your what your crops to grow. Success comes from consistency and relationship building. So when you meet people there, be personal with them. Ask them about how their day's going. You see their kids, oh, what grade are they in? And you want to build that trust. You want people to be comfortable with you. Choose the right area, use the right tools, and stay the course. So just a couple of housekeeping things. Advertising at first point of contact. Anytime you're going to send any marketing out, you must include your name, first name, last name, designation, realtor, DRE number, phone number, and name of responsible broker, in this case, Golden Rank Platinum Properties. You must include this. And this is included but not limited to flyers, postcard, business cards, print ads, magazine, newspaper, anything, social media ads, electronic media, and this includes internet, websites, text messages. That's important. If you're going to reach out to someone for the first time via text message and you've never contacted them before, it must include that information. Telephone calls, emails, television, radio, cinema, streaming, video, audio, billboards, signs, for sale sign, for lease sign, open house signs. These must all include all of this stuff, all this information. All right, you guys got this? Okay. And the disclaimer. So this is the disclaimer you're going to use for your, and I can email this to you later on, but I just want to show you what it looks like for your market updates. So this is going to be a small print at the bottom of the flyer. It says, based on information, California, or you can put CRMLS as of between this date and this date. So if it's a market update for March, it's as of 3/1/2025 to 3/30, is it 31? Yeah, 31/2025. So between March 1st to March 31st. And it says and/or other sources, all data including all measurements and calculations of areas obtained from various sources and has not been and will not be verified by broker or MLS. All information should be independently reviewed and verified for accuracy. Properties may or may not be listed by the office or agent presenting the information. This is important because you're saying this information I'm providing, I'm not saying that I was a listing agent or the selling agent, I'm just providing the information. the listing broker's offer of compensation is made only to participants unless where listing is filed or it, actually, I gotta take that out. Because we're no longer offering, broker compensation. But anyway, that's an example of what it looks like. And last thing is dress for success. If you're a police officer, you have a police officer's uniform, people know what you do. If you're a chef, you have white chef's uniform with the little white hat, people know what you do. If you're a real estate professional, you should dress like a real estate professional when you're meeting with your clients. So therefore, stay professional, dress for the occasion. Now go and market yourself. Any questions? Anybody at home? Okay. Do you guys have a couple of minutes for me to show you the different websites? All right, so. So CRMLS. So to get the CMA landing page for the property evaluation tool, you're gonna go to the MLS and log in. And you can either access Cloud CMA from here, or once you go to the MLS, let's just do it straight from here. And then, once you get logged in, the first time you click on that, it's gonna ask you to set up your account and username, password, all that stuff. But then the next time you go in, it's just gonna link you and connect you straight to it. So the first time you click on that, it's gonna ask you to set up your account. So now that I'm here, I'm gonna click on my picture up here, which you're gonna upload when you set it up. And you're gonna click on lead generation. And then, this is it. You just copy the link, which it hopefully did. And I go to the internet and hit paste. That's my landing page. So now if I want information on, this is my listing. So I want information on that. And then it's gonna say, okay, what's your name, what's your email address, what's your phone number? And then at the bottom, it's gonna say, email my report. So that's pretty cool, right? So what you can do is, go back. Oh, dang it. Copy this top URL up here and paste it into Facebook. And then use it for your marketing. So that's one of them. The other one was Core Fact. I wanted to show you guys what that looked like. This is pretty cool because it has different templates for different things. The one that I was talking about was the postcard. So we passed it, yeah, postcards. And then home estimate map. And this is what that looks like. Remember I told you about the person, the little map where it shows your listing? Here's an example of that one. And it's, each person is gonna get this postcard with their home pinned on the map. So you see where that is, that's where this property is. The other person, maybe their house is down here, so it's gonna be pinned at the bottom. But when, and also it's gonna show the sales around the area. When they scan this QR code, it's gonna take them to a website dedicated specifically to them and their property. And it's gonna be branded with your contact information all over it. But it's gonna show them the comps, any properties that sold in the area. So that's pretty cool. So this is one of the tools that I recommended that you guys use. But let's look at some of the other marketing available. There's door hangers. Let's see promotional here. These look pretty cool. I mean, I would use these. If you're gonna walk your farm and you don't want to mail to it, have some of these printed. Anyway, there's a lot of different templates here that you could use. There's newsletters.
They send this to you or you can pick them up.
They're gonna mail them to you. But the ones, the postcards that are gonna be mailed out, you're gonna upload your farm area and they're gonna mail it to them. So you'll just get a notification saying, okay, we mailed it. So first is they're gonna send you the proof, hey, approve it, okay, cool. Make your payment, you already made your payment. You say, okay, well, the sign's ready, the printing is ready. And then we'll notify you when we drop it off at the post office, and then they email you saying it's been dropped off at the post office. But yeah, so there's some samples of new newsletters here. Anyway, that's it. That's all I got for you guys today. And I'll see you guys next week. Harriet, it's just you left. I guess that's too boring. All right, we'll see you next week.